From across mid-Missouri, this is KRCG 13, live at 10.
We are following a developing story out of Sturgeon in North Boone County. Authorities there confirm a shooting earlier this evening has left one man seriously injured.
The Boone County Sheriff's Department also confirms one suspect is in custody. We will have a live report from the scene in just a moment. But we begin with Mother Nature as snow returns to mid-Missouri tomorrow.
And in some locations, you might need a shovel. Zach has the when and where from the Weather Center.
Yeah, good evening. Pretty quiet out there tonight weather-wise. We did see some mild temperatures today, pretty seasonal, but we're going to find some changes arriving as we get into the day tomorrow. Winter weather advisories go into effect early tomorrow morning, then they'll go through late Wednesday night. In fact, they'll go to around midnight tomorrow night. Winter weather advisories are issued when travel conditions could deteriorate rather quickly and create some dangerous conditions out on the roadway. And we've got a section here through central Missouri where that may be the case as we look ahead to the day tomorrow. Right now, we're finding clouds on radar with just clouds, not much showing up on the radar here. Different story. If we look across northern Arkansas, we are starting to see a little bit more of that precipitation. That'll be a gradual trend northward here tonight. Right now, we're still in the low to mid 30s, and we're not going to find temperatures moving much between now and tomorrow morning. But Futurecast will bring a lot more of that cloud cover. It'll also bring a little bit more of that precipitation into our area. This is 8 a.m. and notice by 8 o'clock, we could see the first signs of that. I think for many of us, that may even come a little bit later. But right now, it's looking to start off as rain for most of us and transition into snow late Wednesday night. Some locations could see upwards of 6 inches. Most of us will see between 1 and 4. And it's going to be difficult across a lot of the areas as well because we're going to have some rain mixed in. So we are going to find some melting with that. And again, that could make measuring a little bit difficult. I'll show you who has the best chance of not having to worry about any snow tomorrow ahead in your forecast.
All right, thanks, Zach. Once again, police are investigating a Boone County shooting that sent one man to the hospital.
KRCG 13's Gladys Bautista is at the scene. Gladys.
Carmen and Megan, this area in front of Hewer's Country Store and Cafe was cornered off when I got here as authorities investigated a shots fired call. And I spoke to people who live right next door to Hewer's Cafe. They tell me that they heard 3 gunshots and that their daughter saw a man laying on the ground. Authorities did confirm to me that they found a man shot. He's now at a local area hospital, and they say he was seriously injured. Now let's take a look at video that I took earlier this evening while police were investigating. Sergeant Brian Lear from the Boone County Sheriff's Office says deputies received a call at 6:18 p.m. for a shooting. When they responded here to Hewer's Country Store and Cafe, they found a man who was shot and seriously injured. The victim was transported to a local area hospital. No word on any identification yet, but he is in serious condition. Lear says they do have a suspect in custody at this time. He said that there would not be any further information on that suspect and that it's an ongoing investigation. But as of now, there is no threat to the public. I'm live in Sturgeon. Gladys Bautista, KRCG 13.
No one is saying why, but Ashland Police Chief Lynn Wolford is on immediate administrative leave.
City Administrator Tony St. Romain made the announcement this afternoon in a news release, saying only that it came at the direction of the mayor. St. Romain said details will come only after a thorough review of the situation. KRCG 13 reached out to Chief Wolford this evening. He declined to comment. St. Romain says Deputy Chief Terry Tolson will serve as interim chief. The Board of Aldermen could make that appointment permanent at its next meeting on Tuesday. A new development tonight in the armed robbery of the Camdenton Gerb store over the weekend. Police say the suspect is in critical condition from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In a release, the police department says 28-year-old Clayton Phillips, shown in this security video entering the store on Highway 54, shot himself when officers tried to serve a search warrant at his home. Investigators had identified Phillips from information supplied by the community. They say Phillips stole several hundred prescription pills from the grocery store pharmacy.
A Boonville man faces charges in connection with an armed robbery at a Cooper County convenience store in late December. A Facebook post from Boonville police says 54-year-old Michael Butler was arrested Friday and charged with robbery, armed criminal action, and stealing at Lucky's Eagle Stop. The Cooper County prosecutor also charged Butler with attempted robbery in connection to a purse snatching incident outside the Isle of Capri Casino February 2nd. A Columbia chiropractor and high school wrestling coach formally faces prosecution for second-degree sexual abuse. Police arrested Brooks Travis early Sunday morning. Authorities did not provide details. However, a spokeswoman for the Jefferson City Catholic Diocese says Tolton High School relieved Travis of his coaching duties there. She also says the alleged contact does not involve a student or personnel at the high school and did not occur on school property. The Jefferson City Parks and Recreation Commission finally has come to a decision on whether to relocate a city park to make room for expansion of the Jefferson City National Cemetery.
KRCG 13's Ashley Eddy has been following this story. She joins us now in the studio with what they've decided.
Megan, the commission decided to move forward with the relocation of East Miller Park, assuming the VA can get the funds needed to expand the National Cemetery.
We were very pleased. I mean, it's been a long time, and this was a big step forward.
A big step forward toward the possible expansion of the Jefferson City National Cemetery, a cemetery that's been full since 1969.
A veteran or a service member on their last breath of full service to this country, their wandering thoughts are what? They want to be buried with dignity, and they want to be buried next to family, and this will allow that.
The possible expansion is a step many veterans and members of the community say they've been working toward for years.
This didn't happen for any 1, 3, or 5 people. It took a whole bunch of people working together to make this happen.
The Parks and Rec Department is leaving the park relocation solely up to if federal funds come through for cemetery expansion.
We will start talking with our congressional delegation in Washington, D.C. I've already visited with many of them. They're all on board. We need them to talk with the Veterans Administration to get this moving fast. As fast as it can move, it could be done in as little as a year or 6 months to a year, or it could take us 2 or 3 years to do it.
The time frame of cemetery expansion is also up in the air for the Parks and Recreation Commission.
I don't know if they would get into the budget realm for 2021. It could be 2022 or 2023. Before funding would be allocated and then appropriated.
If the funds do go through, Chris Leichel, the Jefferson City Parks and Recreation Commission president, says it will mean an investment in other properties.
We have Park Avenue Park that hasn't had a renovation in quite some time. And also create an opportunity for us with other land in the area, in this case East Elm, that is not presently a park, to add a park.
Something Leichel says the commission has been working hard to find the perfect solution for.
If the cemetery expansion does not go through, Leichel says East Miller Park will stay where it is and be renovated.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Advocates for Medicaid expansion in Missouri today took their message directly to the state capitol.
A group called Missouri Health Care for All has focused on the tens of thousands of children recently removed from Medicaid programs. Members have gathered petition signatures to get an expansion proposal on the November ballot. Advocates say expanding eligibility would bring more than $1 billion federal dollars to Missouri every year.
We have over 200,000 Missourians that don't have health insurance coverage, that are going without insurance, and we really would like to see them be able to get the health care that they need to support themselves and support their families.
Advocates have until early May to submit 172,000 signatures to get the question on the November ballot. They claim to have about 3/4 of those signatures. The Kansas City Chamber of Commerce and other business groups there today endorsed Medicaid expansion. If voters approve a ballot issue, Governor Mike Parson says his administration will not stand in the way of implementation. In New Hampshire, will the Democratic primary for president reshape the field?
Who sits on top and who's dropping out as the race remains tight?
Temperatures today pretty close to the average this afternoon, right at 43. A little warm this morning, but we are going to find some correction to that temperature. In fact, colder weather ahead this week, plus snow into your Wednesday. I'll show you how much in your forecast to come up.
The polls have closed, and we await the final results from New Hampshire.
With more than 80% of the precincts now reporting, Bernie Sanders holds a close lead over Pete Buttigieg. Those numbers get tighter over time, and the breakout performer tonight could be Senator Amy Klobuchar, who is sitting in at a close third. Much like Iowa, Senator Elizabeth Warren and former Vice President Joe Biden are struggling mightily. Sinclair Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman was in New Hampshire this weekend. He's back in D.C. tonight with a breakdown.
Well, what we're seeing so far is along the lines that many people had predicted, that Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg would continue to have that momentum, have a solid showing in New Hampshire. But another big story tonight is proof that debates do matter. Amy Klobuchar had a strong debate performance Friday night, strong enough it seems to inspire voters, to convince the undecideds. She's seeing strong numbers with early figures showing Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden fighting it out behind her. Now, the other major news tonight, candidates dropping out, most notably the entrepreneur who kind of came out of nowhere and made every debate stage except for one, Andrew Yang.
Endings are hard. And I've always had the intention to stay in this race until the very end. But I have been persuaded that the message of this campaign will not be strengthened by my staying in this race any longer.
We've spent a lot of time with Andrew Yang. He's one of those candidates who like his policies or not. He will be missed on the trail, even by his competitors, for what he brought to this race. He's not the only one dropping out tonight. Michael Bennet, the Colorado senator, just about 30 minutes after Andrew Yang announced, he also made it public that he, too, is dropping out of this race. That leaves 9 Democrats still in it. We'll have much more, including more results throughout the night. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Well, we will find a little more cloud cover overnight here. Notice between now and tomorrow morning, I don't think we'll have to worry about precipitation. It happens as we get into the day tomorrow that you may have to break out the snow shovel. Your forecast is next.
And now, your KRCG 13 Weather Authority forecast.
Cloudy overnight as we get through the day tomorrow. Winter weather advisory goes into effect. It starts tomorrow morning. That'll take us through midnight tomorrow night. Snow between 2 to 5 inches will be possible in a few spots. Others may not see nearly as much. Osage County, Marys County, Phelps-Pulaski, Gasconade County not included in this. Doesn't mean that you won't see snow, just means that you won't see the bulk of the snow. I think most of that snow for our region is going to fall north of I-70, where we could find a couple isolated amounts closer to that 5-inch mark. Right now, temperatures in the low to mid 30s. We're not going to find the temperatures moving much between now and tomorrow morning. I think we'll find temperatures right around 31 degrees. What we have found, though, with a little bit of that sunshine from earlier, filtered sunshine, the clouds have returned. Starting to see a little bit of that rain moving in across Arkansas. Most of that won't impact us until early tomorrow morning, as we still have a high pressure influencing our weather. That'll bring in a little bit of a southeasterly wind as we get into the day tomorrow. Futurecast overnight brings the clouds in, keeps them a little bit scattered at times. Notice this is 7 o'clock. We're looking at temperatures here in the low to mid 30s. Again, not going to be much different temperature-wise. That's a good thing. As long as we're finding low to mid 30s, roads won't be, at least roads are going to be treatable, would be the best way to put that. But here's 7 o'clock. Notice still not going to find a lot across the area, and I think we may not even see a lot of this until about 8, 9 o'clock. By the lunch hour, I think we'll find a lot more of this. Notice by the lunch hour, north of Interstate 70, we're dealing with all snow. In fact, through the lunch hour, north of Highway 50 is going to be all snow. It'll be south of there that we're dealing with rain. Then we could have a little bit of a transition window where there's a rain-snow mix. And same thing up here. This is going to be a wet, heavy snow, so I don't think we'll see significant amounts with that. Going through the late afternoon, 3 o'clock, notice this rain window now has lifted a little bit farther to the north. Still dealing primarily north of I-70 with all snow, but that transition window between I-70 and Highway 50 is still there, and south of there, still primarily all rain. Now, we head into Wednesday night. Colder air starts to arrive. We'll see that transition from rain back into snow, while north of I-70, still all snow. That snow eventually will move to the south, so I don't think we'll have much snow to worry about across the I-44 corridor area, but we will all be dealing with some cold temperatures as we get into your Thursday morning. Now, as far as how much snow, I think there's a little narrow band where we're going to find 2 to 4 inches. Outside of that, 1 to 2. If you get south of Highway 50, a dusting to maybe upwards of an inch. There's going to be quite a bit of rain in this area, and if you see more rain, that means less snow. And if you see more snow, that means less rain. But this is going to be a wet, heavy snow as well. Usually you hear the ratio of 10 inches of snow equals 1 inch of water. This is going to be closer to maybe a 5 to 1 or a 6 to 1. So there's going to be a lot of water associated with this tomorrow. And it's not going to equate to a lot of snow, but it will be a wet, heavy, slushy snow.
Okay.
Thanks, Zach.
Mizzou and LSU battle in Baton Rouge. Which Tiger team came out on top tonight?
And the #1 ranked team in Missouri goes for win number 20. Rod's in next with this Basketball Tuesday night. We'll see you tomorrow.
KRCG 13's Basketball Tuesday night with Ron Smith and the KRCG 13 sports team is sponsored by Central Bank. It's Basketball Tuesday night. Here's Ron Smith.
A big night on the high school hardwood. 12 games to highlight from all over mid-Missouri. First, though, college hoops. Mizzou heading south to LSU. Football national champions. Basketball team isn't bad either. The Bayou Bengals ranked number 25 in the nation, coming off a couple losses. Mizzou coming off a good win last Saturday. Nice start for the Tigers. Reed Nickel playing big these days, stuffs it down. Tigers led by 9 midway through the first half. Shooting well, Drew Smith, 3 of his 20 points. Later on, Mitchell Smith, long range. Tigers up by as many as 12 in the first half. Settled for a 6-point advantage at halftime, 43-37. Second half, Xavier Pinson, big jam. Tigers holding on to the lead. Mitchell Smith makes it an 8-point advantage midway through the second half, but LSU finishing with a flurry. Skylar Mays had 23, big bucket there late. Missouri shot well tonight, played well, but they lose it. 82-78, falling to 11-13, just 1-8 on the road. Back at home Saturday to face 11th-ranked Auburn. High school hoops, big basketball rivalry in Columbia tonight. Jeff City and Hickman. Jays won the first meeting last month. Cupes, though, trying to even things up at the crib. Cupies get off to the good start. Seth Larson, the floater. 13-9 Hickman early. On the other end, Sterling Deshay, strong move. He had 15 points in the first half alone. Tough Hickman inside game. Roger Anderson, the finish here. Cupies led it 27-26 in the half. Josie Kespole putting on the show at halftime. Deshay trying to keep the Jays in a nice floater. Throw out the records, though. Cupies win this rivalry. Larson off to Roman Canty for the easy 2. Cray Logan and Hickman get revenge with a big 65-61 win over Jefferson City. Rockbridge Bruins rolling along after a 3-3 start. The defending state champions had reeled off 13 straight wins, hosting Northeast Kansas City and Columbia on Salute to America night. Grant Bowers, the senior guard, hits the 3. Bowers later on assisting to Charles Wilson, another senior Bruin, puts it in. Good to see local golf legend Dennis Gettle. He'll be inducted into the Missouri Golf Hall of Fame this year. Bruins work it outside. Hudson Dircher, good shooter. Rockbridge led at 43-29. Referee of the night, Kevin Rotter. Great young official, 24 years old, doing college games, even some Division I contests. Big second half of the Bruins. They roll on to the 93-54 win, now 17-3. That is 14-0 for Scanlon and company. More basketball in Columbia. The Battle Spartans going for back-to-back wins on the home court, hosting Kansas City Central. Cachao Jinquinto drives. He had 15 points. Spartans down at halftime, close all the way. Tristan Menny, as all Mennies are, good shooters. Dad, Coach Brian Menny, too, the former Columbia College star. Tristan, 14 points. This game went to overtime, tied 56-all to a second OT, 65-all. Central flips past Battle. The final, 75-71 in double overtime. The state's #1 ranked Blair Oaks Falcons, 19-2, going for win number 20 tonight on the home court, hosting the Eldon Mustangs. Falcons jump out early. Nice passing. Easy one to Luke Northweather. Then it's older brother Eric. Offensive glass, puts it back in and draws the foul. Quinn Cushion adds a 3-pointer, 25-11 after a quarter. Blair Oaks leading Falcons. Far from done, Eric Northweather, another 3-point play. And how about Jake Flosser getting in on the fun, on the run. 48-16 Falcons at the half against a shorthanded Eldon team. Several players out with the flu. Blair Oaks wins it 80-38, now 20-2 on the season. The Southern Boone Eagles at home at Ashland welcoming the Osage Indians. Sluggish first half. Osage led at 20-17 at the break. Dylan Long from Long for the visiting Indians. Southern Boone gets back in it with a better second half. Reese Gilmore, the 3 on senior night. Eagles on the run. Trenton Roney dishing to Nick Post. Southern Boone comes back to win it 48-40. Andy Jansen and the Eagles are now 16-5. Show Me Conference showdown in Westphalia tonight. Fatima Comets and Eugene Eagles. Comets take the early lead. Nate Brandt, 3 of his 22. Eugene had an answer. Trey Kempker off the glass, fouled as well. But this game would belong to Fatima. Brett Werner, what a season he's having. All the way for 2. Lever Sloyce adding 22 as the Comets win over Eugene 69-60. Tri-County Conference showdown in Boonville. Mark Anderson and the Pirates hosting the California Pintos early on. Kalen Kruger, the floater off the glass. Pintos start on a 6-0 run, but all Boonville from their lane west goes east inside for 2. Then DJ Wesselak past the defense in for the lay-in. More Pirates. Wesselak, who had the game-winning shot the other night at the buzzer, over to Charlie Bronikowski. Corner 3. Boonville wins big, 96-69. And how about some basketball at the Lynn Dome? The Wildcats hosting Russellville. All Lynn, and this one Drew Stroke to the basket and the foul. Wildcats up 35-10 at halftime. On the break here, all the way for the layup. Caleb Mawson led a balanced attack with 11 points. The Wildcats win it 62-30. More high school hoops. When we come back, we'll take you to Fulton, Tipton, and back to Capital City High School. The Cavaliers make a little more history. Stay with us on a basketball Tuesday night.
Dear driver, you're invited to save big on a new Toyota. Hurry in today. Visit buyatoyota.com for more information. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Basketball Tuesday night. The Fulton Hornets are playing some good basketball. Haven't lost on the court since the middle of January. Back at home tonight hosting Marshall at Roger Davis Gymnasium. John Adams gets it inside to Tyler Saylor, who lays it in for the nice bucket. Saylor had a strong game. Off the miss here, it is Adams getting the rebound. Gets the pass off to Saylor. From the ground, strong finish. And a foul. You guessed it again. It is Adams to Saylor here for the easy bucket in the paint. It was a close one, but the Hornets pull out the win over Marshall, 73-63 the final. Capital City High basketball. The young Cavaliers, just freshmen and sophomores at the new school, they've been playing hard. Wins tough to come by. Hosting Cuba tonight. Cavs built a double-digit lead in the opening half. Cedric Warren splashing home the 3. Ashton Kaysen adds 3 more from the corner. Capital City up 39-33 at halftime. Nice passing here leads to a Blake Meredith and 1. Cavs led by as many as 13. They hang on to win by 1. 63-62, third win of the season for Capital City High. St. Elizabeth gets 27 from Ross Strumpf, now 17-5 on the year. The Hornets beat South Callaway 83-55. Hallsville 22 better than Versailles tonight. It was North Callaway edging past Wright City. Senior Gabe Cash, 34 points, went over the 1,000 career point mark tonight. Tipton got 17 from Austin Pace on senior night, beating Lamont. Harrisburg over Schuyler County, big win there. Centralia, big over the Macon Tigers. It was Kirksville over Moberly tonight. Vienna downs Crocker. Sturgeon, a winner over Community. Slater downs New Franklin. A rare loss for New Franklin, a 10-point win there. New Haven over Herman. West Strand beats Paris St. James. And Rolla both winning tonight. Girls basketball at Lynn. Wildcats hosting Eugene. Lady Wildcats on the run. Lindsey Brandt all the way for the layup. Eugene, though, on the other end. Katie Alderman down low to Kayla Bond. Bucket in the foul. Bond with 13. Eugene wins a close one, 43-41. Senior night for the Tipton Lady Cardinals, honoring Abby Backus, the standout who will play at Columbia College next season. Tipton hosting Lamont. Here's Backus. Nice move in the finish. All Lady Cardinals tonight. Another big game for Backus. Hits a corner 3. Led the way with 25. It was Tipton winning 82-21. South Callaway a big win. Chamois wins. It was Harrisburg and North Callaway winning. Mexico wins. It was Moberly losing to Kirksville. Centralia falling. Montgomery winning. Late night hockey tonight. The Blues on the ice. Jay Bomeister left with a medical emergency, apparently collapsed on the bench, went to the hospital by ambulance. Scary situation. We'll have more details tomorrow. That is it for a Basketball Tuesday night. Have a great evening.